If you haven't been living under a rock for the past couple of months now, you're probably sick to death of hearing about ChatGPT and the gold rush that companies and websites are in to integrate it into everything. But there's a silver lining to it. Trust me. During GDC in March, Ubisoft unveiled their AI generative tool called Ghostwriter. Essentially, it's an internal tool to help narrative designers write first drafts of NPC dialogue. You know, the filler that NPCs usually outwardly yell to give you some sense of immersion. This isn't a full automatic procedural dialogue writer, don't get me wrong. It's more to help narrative designers essentially write the filler dialogue, but it's a cool example of what can be done with this tech when it's fully ready for production. Now, if you've ever played Skyrim, you probably have heard the line,
"I used to be an adventurer like you.
Then I took an arrow in the knee."
1,000 times, from Whiterun to Riften. The line's been thrown at you at every single guard in every single town completely unprompted. While hilarious that in lore someone's running around Skyrim kneecapping guards, it is undoubtedly one of the most famous lines of NPC dialogue, but it's also a massive immersion breaker. But with new AI technologies like Ghostwriter and other procedurally generated scripts, the game could essentially write and voice new lines of dialogue so you'll never have to hear the same thing twice. Voice lines, I hear you ask. But what about the voice actors? They can't possibly voice all those lines of dialogue if they're randomly being generated. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have agreed and thought it would never happen. But then 2 months ago, we got a flood of the US presidents playing video games and trash talking, somewhat realistically based off of readily available market software.
Must be nice having no life.
Hey, say that shit one more time, Sleepy Joe, and I'm throwing the match.
I'm reporting you for toxic behavior.
Sleepy, I swear to God.
But that's publicly available. Just imagine what can be tuned to fit these games. Aside from getting realistic NPC dialogue, this opens the door to a new can of worms. How will this affect immersion since the devs can't control the dialogue if it's randomly generated? Will voice actors be paid accordingly since their voices will be used for nearly infinite lines of dialogue, or will they get rid of VAs altogether and use generated voice alikes? Do I have the answers to those questions? Hell no, I'm not a dev. Do devs have the answer to these questions? The short answer after skimming through a subreddit discussion on it, it's a maybe. Since the tech is so new and so demanding, it'll be a task to add it to any game right now in development. But with the mainstream addition of AI like this, it'll probably be the next leap in gaming tech, like when games jump to 3D or the addition of internet to game consoles. So just don't expect it to be perfected until maybe the PS6 and the next Xbox. But at the end of the day, it's exciting because it could make the worlds we love to explore feel a little bit more real. But what do you think? Will adding AI into games change immersion forever? Or do you think it won't work at all? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe and click here to see another video.